Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Am I on? Testing, testing, testing. Testing, 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 testing.
Shabbat Shalom. We would like to invite you to turn from your conversation with each other into the one that we will try to create together as we welcome Shabbat. שבט עולם ים יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט עולם גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט כולם גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט כולם גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט כולם גם יחד. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos. What a wonderful thing is to welcome Shabbat in community, to welcome Shabbat at Shir Hadash. This is a very special Shabbat for several reasons, The first one, just because it's Shabbat. You're absolutely right. Second one, this week we read Parashat Shmini, a very important, a very special Torah portion, a Torah portion that we'll learn together today, tomorrow, invites us to recognize our limitations, and by recognizing our limitations, also to recognize our possibilities. And you will hear a lot about that tomorrow morning from the mouth of Jackson, who will be coming up to the Torah and sharing words of wisdom with all of us. And we are very excited to hear from him and to celebrate with him his bar mitzvah tomorrow at Shir Hadash. And also, because this Shabbat is the Shabbat before Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Day, or the Memorial Day for the Shoah, for the Holocaust in Israel. And when these days are closer for Jews, it's a good time to start thinking about the privileges that we have in our lives, and not only how we honor the memory of those that we have lost, but rather how we bring those memories to our lives. You know, for many years, I'll just say one word about this, there was a great concern about the public discussion about having Holocaust studies in the books of history, yes or not, and it is still a public discussion, it's an ongoing discussion. I will be participating in conversations about this specific topic in a few more days in Jerusalem. It is a topic for the World Zionist Congress, in which I will be participating next week, and I will be sitting in conversations about this topic in particular. But the great thing about the Holocaust is not for us, or for the Holocaust, or for the Shoah, to be erased from the books of history. The great concern is about the Shoah to be erased from our own memories. History can be kept in books. Memory is a legacy that we keep in our hearts and that we share ledor bador, from generation to generation. So I want to invite all of you, as we will enter these next 10 days that are so filled with meaning, the days of Yom HaShoah, Memorial Day of the Holocaust, the days of Yom HaZikaron, Remembrance Day in the State of Israel, and Yom HaTzmaut, the celebration of the independence of the State of Israel, to try to think about where you in your journey and how you are remembering. We'll try to do our best to help you remember with a variety of activities that we will be sharing later on. We will now turn our Sidurim to page 129, and we will start our service singing from the Song of the Songs, Dodi Li, I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. Your Sidurim to page 120 as we will light Shabbat candles. I'd like to invite Jamie to lead us in the candle blessing, and you might invite your family to join you. Mom, for sure. Dad, come on. Don't leave her alone. Not alone. You need to bring at least three family members. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shaveh,
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Congratulations. Welcome. You can say Shabbat Shalom to each other. Say Shabbat Shalom. We will now turn our Sidurim to page 130. We welcome Shabbat in motion in our feet. Lechu neranena.
In the blue bracketed numbers, just in case you are unsure. Lechu neranena, l'Adonai, nariya letzur, ishenu, nekadma, fanav, betoda, bizmirot, nariya lo, nekadma, fanav, betoda, bizmirot, nariya lo.
Page 131.
Shiru l'Adonai, Shir Hadash, Shiru l'Adonai, Kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai, Baruchu Shemo, Basru miyom leyom, Yeshuato, Sabru v'goyim, Kevodo, Bechol ha'amim, nifleotav.
Page 132. Adonai malach tagel aharetz, ismechu hihim ra'avim. Mizmor shir l'Adonai shir chadash, ki niflaot ha'asa. In Shabbat we take a moment to recognize the many wonders, the niflaot that we have in our lives, in our world, and to sing songs of praise to the things that we acknowledge in our routine and that make our lives possible. As we turn our Sidurim to page 134, I invite you to think about what are the things that you might be carrying into this Shabbat, and it will be great to leave them behind. Just to put them aside and leave them behind. I like to remind that the word Sambru doesn't only mean sing, it also means trim. To cut off, to trim. Like you trim leaves or a tree. So we trim the edges of the things that we shouldn't carry in Shabbat. We try to put them aside because it's the only way to be able to enter a different space, a different time, to be a bit lighter, to create the space, the availability for the experience. We're on page 134, Sambru l'Adonai.
Sambru l'Adonai, bechinor, bechinor, v'kol zimra.
Sambru
l'Adonai,
bechinor, bechinor, v'kol zimbra. Thank you. Sambru l'Adonai, bechinor, bechinor, v'kol zimbra. Sambru l'Adonai, bechinor. Sambru l'Adonai, v'kol zimbra. We now turn our Sidurim to page 136. One more psalm before Lechadodi, Psalm 29. And we remind that during Psalm 29, in many congregations, people stand up. And we are not inviting you. We are not suggesting that you need to rise. But we are inviting you to think about what would help you to elevate yourself in this Erev Shabbat. What would help you uplift yourself? Page 136, Psalm 29, Mizmor LeDavid. Mizmor LeDavid, Aul Adonai Benelim. Mizmor LeDavid, Aul Adonai Kavod Ba'os. Aul Adonai Kavod Ba'os. Aul Adonai Kavod Shemo. Aul Adonai Kavod Ba'os. Aul Adonai Kavod Shemo. Yai, yai, rai. Yara, rai, 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 rai. I need you to, Ian, hold back. I need you to come back with me. I know it's really difficult to focus when sound is not going well and we have our friends trying their best. But we're not going to let this service go. So we're going to get back together. And you, can we do a cappella 1 second? No piano? Then let's do it together. Let's get back into Shabbat. It takes work sometimes. Yay, dai, dai, slowly. Ya da dai, 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 slower. Lai, ya dai, 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 ya dai, dai, dai. Release your voices. Yay, dai, dai. Ya da dai, 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 dai. Yay, ya dai, 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 ya dai, dai, dai. Again. Yay, dai, dai. Ya da dai, 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 dai. Yay, ya dai, 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 ya dai, dai, dai. Yay, dai, dai. Ya dai, 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 dai. Yay, dai, dai. We are going to go to the bottom of page 137. Adonaios לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. אדוניוס לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. יאי די די, יאי די 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 די, יאי די די די, יאי די די די. Adonaios לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. אדוניוס לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. Page 138. Welcome the Shabbat bride. And I think that we're in a better place to welcome her now. L'chadodi likrat kala, we walk toward welcoming the Shabbat bride, the majestic presence of Shabbat.
L'chadodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekavela. L'chadodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekavela. שמעו וזכו בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך
לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקרלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקרלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נהסוכה, סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקרלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקרלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי אורי,
שתדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה.
לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקרלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקרלה. לא תבושי ולא תקלמי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תאמי. בך יחסו עניי הימים, ונבנתה עיר על תילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקרלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקרלה. Please rise and we turn toward the entrance of the synagogue.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה.
לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקרלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקרלה. Shabbat shalom, everybody. We invite you to remain standing and to move from where you are and to cross lines and to say Shabbat shalom to each other. And I want to make something very clear. Well, it's a mitzvah to greet each other's faces. So try to acknowledge a face that you don't know and say Shabbat shalom. Say Shabbat shalom. Reach out to someone you don't know, say your name, say Shabbat shalom. Welcome them to Shir Hadash. Shabbat shalom, Jojo. I'm so glad to see you today. So, Shabbat shalom, mevorach. Is the guitar working now? Ay, 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 לך דודי Shabbat kala. Ay, ay, Penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat. Go to the microphone and come. Yeah, we're waiting for you. Take that microphone. La. Ay, la, 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 la. Ay, la, 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 la. Ya, la, 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 la. Ya, la, 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 la. Ya, la, 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 la. Page 140. May be seated. Mizmor, Shir, Shir Le'yom HaShabbat. 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 We'll now turn our Sidurim to page 144 for Chetzi Kaddish, the prayer of transition between Kabbalat Shabbat and our Shabbat evening service.
Yitkara v'yitkarash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Mad yiverach tirutei v'amlich machutei v'chayekon u'yomechon u'chayedecho beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'bizman kariv ve'imeru. Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'alam Ulam Le'amaya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach Yitbar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yitaleh V'yithalal Shemei Dekudesha Brichu La min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma ve'imeru. Amen.
I invite you to turn your Sidurim to page 146. Please rise for Barhu. Yai da dai 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 dai. Yai da dai dai da dai dai dai. Yai da dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai da dai dai da dai dai dai.
Adonai Amevorach. Baruch Adonai Amevorach. Amevorach Le'olam ba'ed. Amevorach, Amevorach Le'olam ba'ed.
You may be seated. We are on page 145. 48. Please join me in English. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening Baruch Atah Adonai, Ama'ariv Aravim. Bat Olam, Beit Israel, Amcha Ahavta, Chukim u'Mishpatim, Otanu Limata. Everlasting love you offer your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, help us keep in our hearts and our minds the wisdom of your Torah, the wisdom of your guidance, and recognize that each one of us is loved. Our tradition places the Shema between the love of Be'avta, in a place in which we are supposed to see ourselves as loved, and then we say, after the Shema, let me rephrase, Abat Olam, before the Shema, in which we are supposed to perceive ourselves as loved, and after the Shema, Be'avta, you shall love, reminding us that we are to be love into this world. But most importantly, teaching us that, or emphasizing that we cannot bring love into this world if we don't feel that we are loved. And perceiving that love is our own work. It's our own work, recognizing that we are loved, that this universe, that this world was created for us. And there are endless sources for us to extract and to connect with that love. So as we get closer to the Shema, I'd like to invite you to close your eyes for just a moment. And if you don't feel comfortable closing your eyes, it might be enough just opening your heart and try to think, try to visualize what that source of everlasting love looks like for you in your world. Pay attention to your breath. And as we breathe in, we'll try to recognize the things that we are carrying into the Shabbat, the energies that we have that don't belong to us. And as we exhale, I invite you to let them go, to set them out. Once again, breathe in. And out. As we say, dear God, please never remove your love from us. Be'avadcha al tasir mimenu leolamim. And at the bottom of page 150, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Israel, page 152.
Shema,
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך אתה בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לעוד ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם
אמת, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. אמת באמון הכל סוד קיים עלינו, כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו, ואין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל המון. Your children witnessed your presence, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moshe, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices with joy. Who is like you, O God? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. We're on page 158.
חמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, אוי אלי אנו ועמנו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאללה 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 יאללה
the bottom of page 158, thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Gaal Israel. Page 116. One more blessing, the blessing for our internal peace. Ashkiveinu Adonai, may we find the strength to build within our hearts shelters of peace.
השכיבנו אדוני, אלוהינו לשלום, ועמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני, אלוהינו לשלום, ועמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו
לחיים ושלום
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'avidenu shomreinu lechayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'avidenu shomreinu lechayim. Ushmon Seitenu,
Uvoenu לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, the shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over the holy city, the city of Shalom, Yerushalayim. Shambru b'nei Israel et Shabbat, it is a covenant among generations to keep Shabbat as a part of our lives and to let Shabbat to keep us alive, to find a moment to breathe, to connect with our own souls. We say that B'yom HaShvi'i Shabbat by Nafash, on the seventh day, Shabbat received its own soul. And our tradition teaches that we all receive an additional soul that accompanies us during Shabbat. So basically, we live our lives with two souls. One that shows up once a week, and the other one that we have every day. But understanding that there is a soul, a part of our soul, I would say. Maybe it's not that traditional, but I think it's a part of our soul that is all the time there. That needs to be nurtured, that needs a special attention. And Shabbat is a reminder of that attention that we need so profoundly. We will now turn our Sidurim to page 164 for Filat Amidah, the center of our prayer. I will invite you to please rise and to turn toward Jerusalem, our eternal capital, and where you follow the words of our Sidur, you need a moment for personal prayer to find your Tfilah Shebalev, the prayer of your heart. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Modi benachashto, no belaotenu bimotenu lambahetu chayinu vaginishenu tavlo vadonu. Only starting Gatos and Leola, you don't know. ולרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני, צורי וגואלי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Ose shalom b'imromav, uyaseh shalom. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens make peace for us, for all Israel, and all who inhabit the earth. And let us say, Amen.
Amen. In light of recent court developments that impact abortion access and miscarriage treatment in ways that can only be described as cruel, and in light of the ongoing case that will likely go to the Supreme Court soon, we offer a special Mishaberach this evening, a blessing for all those who have ever received an abortion and all those who have ever received treatment for a miscarriage, and for all those who have sought fertility treatments or used birth control and have accessed any reproductive health care or supported others in their efforts to exercise their own reproductive rights. Note that though this prayer is centered on the women in our tradition, we also remember that these bans impact trans men and some non-binary people, some gender non-conforming folks, and others who may, and sometimes do, need abortion care and medical interventions for pregnancy loss. This blessing for reproductive health and freedom was written by Rabbi Stephanie Crawley. Mishaberach Imotenu, God of our mothers, of all our ancestors, bless these brave ones who stand before you. Be with them now as you were with our mothers. God of Sarah, who aided her to have a child when she wanted it, because she wanted it. Be with us now. God of Rachel, who suffered and suffered for a child and then died while giving birth, ensure that no one is forced into that same reality. Be with them now, God of Dinah. Do not abandon us when we have had our bodies stolen from us through violence and subjugation. Be with us now, God of Hannah, who thought she only had worth because of her womb. Teach us all to see our value in our wholeness. Be with us now, God of Yocheved, who bravely hid her baby from cruelty and atrocity until she could no longer and had to leave his life up to fate. Give us the tenacity to fight for a world in which all children can be raised in safe and compassionate communities. Be with us now. God of Shifra and Pua, the midwives who served Israelite mothers despite any evil decree, give us the strength to fight back and continue supporting women and other people who give birth. Be with them now. Bless their holy bodies. Bless our holy bodies. And bless the decisions, the ones that can be made in clinics and in homes with safe medications, the ones that were made out of medical necessity that gave safety and saved lives, the ones that were made in hope for the future, the ones that were grieved over, the ones that were painstakingly fought for, the ones that stood against immoral legislation, and the ones made in the embrace of freedom. May everyone always know agency and dignity and love. May this community never fail to rise in support and be with those who stand beside them in courage, who lend their voices and their funds, who drive to clinics and accompany them inside, who pick up prescriptions, who shout over protesters, who ensure care and safety. Be with them now. Be with us now.
Amen.
Amen.
We'll now turn our Sidurim to page 371. And as we do that, we'd like to invite those that are thinking of someone dealing with illness in their bodies, people dealing with illness in their bodies, in their souls, people carrying grief, people dealing with addictions. Anybody you are thinking of in this Erev Shabbat, would like to invite you to share their names.
Adele Fingerman, Bruce Roberts, Stuart Mass, Alfreda Massman, Diane Siegel, Jill Becker, Gail Frankel, Scott Van Gundy, Daphna Talmor, Mira Engel, Dave Stahl, Greg Herb, Murray Siegel, Ron Victor, Marvin Lombard, Sherry Stone, Esther Gralnick, Rusty Gralnick, Laura Sternberg, Richard Ravitch, former member of Shir Hadash, Bernice Paris, mother of Carol Paris, Franklin Wolfson, son-in-law of Susan Deniston, Lillian Sidlow, mother of Beth Sidlow Mann and mother-in-law of Andrew Mann, Pam Ellman, mother of Rob Ellman, and Grace Deutsch, mother of Diane Siegel.
מי שברך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו, may the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. מי שברך אמותינו מקור הברכה לאבותינו, bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Wish to all of them, to all of you, to all of us, רפואה שלמה, a complete recovery, והחלמה מהירה, and well-being. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Ah, spring. It's going to be interesting. It's right here. Next Friday, I'm doing services with sunglasses. No, but just for this time, I will stand here on the side. No. It's better. So you'll forgive me. Well, can I move from my position? Some experts. Perfect. So I was prepared just in case, but I didn't know if sound was going to be okay. You laugh, but many services in many places are led that way. Do you have any advice, Jaren? Go for it. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. So we're gonna get started, and we'll hope it's okay. And we'll be okay. I think I'm in the perfect spot right now. Shmini, 8th, is the name of our Torah portion this week, and it refers to the day after the 7 days of consecration of the Mishkan, of the tabernacle. Symbolically, in our tradition, the number 7 is deeply connected with the idea of completion. 7 days of the week, 7 branches of the menorah, 7 days of life before entering the covenant, the Brit, and there are many more examples. The number 8 represents moving beyond completion, and curiously, the mathematical symbol of infinity is a horizontal 8. So we are after the 7 days of consecration on the 8th day, and the Torah recalls a series of rituals that are commanded to the priests, meaning Aaron, Moses' brother, and his 4 sons. A few verses later, we read that 2 of these 4 sons, Nadav and Abihu, each took his fire pan, put fire in it, and laid incense on it. And they offered before Adonai, says the book of Leviticus, alien fire, Esh Sarah, which had not been enjoined upon them. And fire came from Adonai and consumed them. Thus, they died at the instance of Adonai. It is very difficult to make sense of this tragedy. In fact, this is one of the most unusual situations in the entire Torah, most difficult to explain situations in the entire Torah. And it's that difficult to make sense of this situation that, as a matter of fact, Aaron, their father, remained silent by Adom Aaron. However, the tradition has a lot to say about this incident and tries to find an explanation to what might have occurred there. Esh Zara asher lo tziva otam, an alien fire which had not been enjoined upon them. One midrash in Tanhuma suggests that they entered the sanctuary while in a state of intoxication, basing itself on the fact that the Torah spells out the prohibition of priests entering the sanctuary while drunk immediately after this reported incident. Now, I personally struggle to see Nadav and Abihu's actions as if they were drunk. However, I do want to keep and want you to keep in mind the idea of acting while intoxicated. Another interpretation comes from Mayana Shel Torah, a commentary, a compilation on Torah written by Rabbi Alexander Susha Friedman, a Polish rabbi who perished, Polish rabbi and activist also who perished during the Shoah, the Holocaust. He says, in reality, each Israelite must fulfill the precepts with such desire and dedication to such a point that the very fulfillment exhausts his soul and leaves him without a drop of vitality. You're supposed to kill yourself every time that you fulfill a mitzvah. You're supposed to be bechol lebavcha, with all your heart, with all your might. The precept itself, as a divine imperative, must renew, he says, its vitality, as it is written, and he shall live in them. Nadav and Abihu performed the service with the right measure of desire and dedication to the point where their vitality was exhausted. However, he says, this was not renewed because what was done did not constitute a precept in any way, since that they fulfilled an action, they took an action that wasn't commanded by God. The idea of Nadav and Abihu and their vitality being exhausted left me thinking about the many things that we do with passion and even with devotion, but do not belong in a system in which we can recharge our energies. A couple of weeks ago, I listened to an interview with the virtuous cellist, Yo-Yo Ma. Yo-Yo Ma, you listened to that too, I think. We spoke about that. Yo-Yo Ma reflected on his own experience with burnout in his 20s. He described how he felt like he could do everything, be a great husband, father, and cellist, and that he could create more energy to accomplish all of these things. However, he soon realized that this approach was unsustainable and led to him hitting a wall. He learned that energy and time are finite resources, and that he needed to respect his limitations and manage his energy like a budget. Manage his energy like a budget. And here's where the idea of intoxication around the actions of Nadav and Avihu receives new meaning. We try to tackle more and more things in our lives with devotion and excitement, and without understanding, in many cases, that our energy and vitality are limited resources. And so we find ourselves intoxicated with burnout, which is what we see in the story of Nadav and Avihu. Literally, we see them burning out. Paraphrasing the idea of Professor Byung-Chul Han in the Burnout Society, we live in a world that is constantly telling us that if we can do more, we should do more, because we have the freedom to achieve. Therefore, we exploit ourselves until we are no longer able, he says, to be able. Han explains that the feeling that nothing is possible can only occur in a society that thinks that nothing is impossible. And it is in this transition, he explains, that we become the burnout society. The very vivid image and the tragedy of Nadav and Avihu are both a mirror and an invitation for us to recognize that devotion and excitement, while positive forces, cannot be the only drives of our actions. There's a real and tangible wisdom behind the ability to recognize and build limitations, and so cycles in which we can unwind, recharge, or just breathe. The number 8 and its symbolic infinity reminds us that our lives are finite, and so is our energy. And yes, we cannot administer such an important and finite resource without a budget. May this Shabbat of Parashat Shmini help us detox from our burnout and revitalize and find new energies, and not those that appear from unrealistic expectations, but rather those that are born from the difficult but very important practice of honoring our limitations. Shabbat Shalom. We will continue our service on page. You count the honor before Aleinu, not after Aleinu? Before the Omer, before Aleinu. As it is written in the Torah, we're going to count the Omer before Aleinu. It's not written in the Torah, friends. There's no rocket science around the Omer. You are supposed to count it in the evening. So, we'll try. Page 570. How many days of the Omer we are counting? Come on, friends, you need to know this. When did Pesach end? If you counted 7 days. So for some people on Wednesday, for some people on Thursday, but that doesn't affect the counting of the Omer. So if you finish Pesach on Wednesday, that was the 7th. If you finish on Thursday, doesn't matter, it's the 8th. So tonight is the 9th. 9 days, which makes it basically is, in the language of the Omer, 1 week and 2 days to the counting of the Omer. We're on page, once again,
500 and
the rabbi needs it.
570.
Inneni mukhanum zuman, inneni mukhanum zuman, inneni mukhanum zuman, lekayem mitzvat aseh, inneni mukhanum zuman, inneni mukhanum zuman, inneni mukhanum zuman, לקיים מצוות עשה. הנני מוכן ומסומן לקיים מצוות עשה של תפילת העומר. I am ready. You can say it with me. We can count in together. Let's try it. It's going to sound a bit interesting, but let's try it together. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו, וציוונו על תפילת העומר. היום, תשעה יום, שהם
שבוע אחד
ושני ימים לעומר. Today is the ninth day, which is 1 week and 2 days, let's say it with me, which is
1 week and 2 days of the
Omer. And we have fulfilled the mitzvah of counting the Omer before Aleinu. Now,
we're having a debate. It's a rabbinic and cantorial debate of when you do
we are not having a debate. We're doing it before Aleinu. So I think we have a bottom line here. So before Aleinu. So, and now we are going to open the ark for Aleinu. We will invite you to rise, and Jojo, we'd like to ask you for you to be the one who opens the ark. Everybody, all the children under the age of 13, we invite you to come up. And if your bar mitzvah is tomorrow, please come up. But Jojo's birthday is right now, and we want to acknowledge that. Page 587. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, לתת גדולה לעושה
בראשית, שהוא
שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד. ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד. We'll now close the curtain. You can leave, and you can close the ark also. You may be seated. Congratulations, Jojo, Mazal Tov.
If you are in the first 7 days of mourning, Shiva, please rise and share with us who you are remembering. If you are in the first 30 days of mourning, Shloshim, please rise and share with us who you are remembering. If you are in the cycle of the first year of mourning, please rise and share with us who you are remembering. If you have a yahrzeit this week, an anniversary of someone's passing, please rise and share with us who you are remembering. Stephen Bornstein, Richard Kennemer, Ethel Schenker, Varda Satchi, Rabbi Tlalit Shavit, Jack Long, Virginia Larson, PhD, Miriam Moorer, Bob Sturman, Lenora Wang, Adam Richard Spilka, Shlomo Isips, Howard Levine, Barbara Lombard, Claire London, Drago Herman, Merle Greenwald, Samuel Grinwald, Anita Kumula, Bryce Lyon, Edna Stone, Miriam Davis, Lauren Janovich, Janet Wohl, Charlene Kilgore, Ezra Sati Satchi, Gideon Hoffer, Alvin Kramer Siegel, Vlasta Vejanovich, Galina Buturina, Karen Imbalzano, Lillian Berman, Robert Bruce Myers, Abraham Karras, Scott Safadi, Norman Green, Marilyn Silverman, Leslie Heinall, David Green, Jeannie Porish, Estelle Abrams, Spencer Caney, Arthur Cherdak, John Ivers, Marilyn Handelman, Kay Damron, Nira Marome, Andrea Cameron, Ziba Feruzin, Rosella Newton, Linda Sherry, Fred DeCastro, Sherry Skihan, Larry Eisen, Harry Gross, Michael Taub, Arnold Levine, Bob Katz, Dan Hand, David Weinstein, Elaine Singer, Faye Leiter, Jeannie Jacobs, Joe Rubenstein, Louis Cohn, Martin Orzek, Ralph Leslie Turner, Ron Meyer, Ross Perlman, Susanna Mary Marlowe, William Siegel. And now you can support our community by standing or sitting, joining us with your voices or your hearts for Kaddish Avilim, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 598.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם עולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירם בעלמא, ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל וכל יושבי תבל. Beimru, amen. May the memories of your beloved ones be always a blessing in your life. Yes, Ichram Baruch. You may be seated.
It's my pleasure to introduce Trista Bernstein to come and share some announcements with us.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm just going to highlight a few announcements. You can see all of them on the back of your handout, and you can find all of our events on our website calendar. Upcoming tomorrow, Saturday, April 15th at 9:30 a.m., we have Torah study in the library, followed by Shabbat morning services at 10:30, as Jackson Taylor is called to the Torah as bar mitzvah. On Sunday, April 16th at 3 p.m., we invite all ages to join us for Tea Time with a Twist. It'll be out on the patio. Please register on the website. On Monday, April 17th at 7 p.m., the Community Yom HaShoah Memorial Service will be held off-site. And looking ahead to Tuesday, April 25th, 4:30 to 7:30 p.m., Israel 75 celebration at the APJCC. Go to the website for registration details. On Wednesday, the 26th at 7 p.m., we have Professor Dollinger.
Dollinger. Mark Dollinger.
Thank you. speaks about Jews, whiteness, power, and privilege. Please register on the website. On Friday and Saturday, May 6th and May 7th, we have Rabbi Nico's installation. Please register on the website. And on Saturday and Sunday, May 20th and 21st, we will have Rabbi Schwartz celebration weekend. Finally, on Sunday, April 30th at 11 a.m. till 3:30 p.m., we have our Bay Area Israel at 75 celebrations. Kulanu will have special programming to accommodate this event. Please check the calendar page for more information. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Trista. And I want to share one more event. If you are missing events, there's one more event I think is not in the announcement yet, and it will be on Monday. On Thursday, May 4th, we will host Nadav Tamir, who is the executive director of J Street in Israel, and he will be talking about the political situation in Israel right now. He will be having a brunch with us at 11:30 a.m. at Shir Hadash, Thursday the 4th. We invite you to join us.
May the 4th be with us.
May the 4th be with us. You had to.
I could not resist. So, also just one more thing, the Yom HaShoah service is at Temple Emmanuel. So if you would like to join us, that is of course open to the community, and members of our choir are participating in our community choir. And I said all of that without my microphone on.
On page 122,
Two.
we invite you to turn your seat into page 122 for Kiddush. We always read the last portion of the first chapter of Genesis as we say Kiddush, to remind us that celebrating Shabbat is to some extent feeling that we have a direct connection, that we have a direct memory with the creation of the world. On page 122, ויערב ויבוקר יום השישי, ויחולו השמיים בארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי, מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי, מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. סברי חבריי וחברותיי, don't drink it yet. Say לחיים everybody.
L'chaim.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם.
Borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu. B'shabbat kodsho, באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת.
L'chaim, and as we acknowledge the joy of Shabbat, we make sure that we not only bless the wine, but we bless each other, we share blessings with each other. We invite you to reconnect with your families, to stand next to your family, if your family is here, and if your family is not here, to find someone to stand next to or to make eye contact with, to please rise. We make sure that we don't leave this space without sharing blessings with each other. As we say, we think of our children, we think of our parents, we think of our grandparents. We think of those that we are building loving relationship with. We think of all of them. As we say, Yasimchem Elohim כפרעים וכמנשה, ישמחן אלוהים כשרה רבקה, רחל ולאה. May God inspire you to be like the loving parents of the house of Israel. And we say, יברככם אדוני וישמרכם. May God bless you and protect you. יאר אדוני פניו אליכם ויחונקם. May God's light shine upon you and may God be gracious to you. יישא אדוני פניו אליכם. May you find within you God's presence always. And may you find within your heart the ability to breathe, to recharge, to prevent yourself from burnout, to recognize your limitations with wholeness of spirit. And may God give you with its most important and beautiful gift, the gift of wholeness, of peace, of shalom. וישם לכם, וישם לנו, to all of us, shalom. אדוני עוש לעמיו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמיו בשלום. שבת שלום, שבת שלום, מבורך everybody, good Shabbos. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, שים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, שים לעולם.
בטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך.
שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. Good Shabbos everybody, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbos. We did it.